That's right, check it 3 times, make sure that it is empty. Today is the R51, otherwise known as the R51. This is a tough one, but we will conquer today and hopefully make it easier for you. If you haven't already done so, hit that magazine release button, drop the magazine, and set it off to the side. Grab the slide and pull it back, but what's different here is you do not want to pull the slide all the way back. You only want to pull it back about an inch. The R in Remington on the side of the slide should line up with the disassembly notch seen here in yellow, which is also the edge of the slide lock lever. We recommend holding the slide as pictured so that you are able to hold the slide where it needs to be as you push the slide stop from the right side of the firearm shown here by the green circle. When you push what's highlighted green, it will pop that slide lock lever out of the frame on the left side. You can use a finger to do this, but you will need to push into the frame to get it to fully pop out the other side. Now that it is out of the frame, grab it and set it off to the side. Before you remove that hand from the slide, grab the barrel with your opposite hand as shown first. Then you can free up your other hand. Make sure you have a good grip on the barrel tip. You can pull the entire slide off the frame now if you like. But if you do, the breech plate will fall onto the floor. Not that that's a big deal, it's just something you should be aware of. If you don't want to deal with falling parts, turn everything upside down and then remove the slide and everything will stay inside the slide. You could keep a hold of the barrel and use your opposite hand to remove the breech plate before letting go, but that would just be too damn easy. Taking a look at the slide contents now, if the breech plate shown here in green is in the slide, we need to remove it. If you can't remove it because it's nice and snug, you can put your thumb on the barrel and slide it towards the front of the slide. When you move it far enough to lock into place, rotate that barrel so it stays put. You can now easily remove the breech plate. Place your thumb back on the barrel end firmly and unlock it by centering it, and slowly let the spring push everything into a neutral position. Your barrel should be able to move freely at this point. Now we find out what cuss words you know. Grab the spring cap with your thumb and index finger. Note that the index finger is grabbing the spring cap through the loading chamber window on the opposite side. Pull that spring cap towards the front of the slide until you clear the notches located along this red line. At this time, tilt the spring cap up, wedge it into those notches so it can rest in that position. This will allow the barrel to be removed with ease. Once you do that, grab the spring cap firmly and continue to move it up and out of the notch so that it can be removed along with the spring. Now you should have all these parts on your table and ready for cleaning. You may want to take a break before putting this thing back together because it's going to test your patience. Reassembly time. Grab your spring and put the spring cap back on the only way that it fits and wedge it into those notches so that it sits up in the air as it did earlier. Slide your barrel into the spring cap and try to get that barrel to fit nicely all the way in. This part can be a little challenging at first because if your barrel is not seated well and you move the spring cap into the normal position, it will freeze up the barrel and it is a pain in the ass to start over. So before you move the spring cap to the normal position, make sure the barrel is lined up in the slide as seen here. Make sure your barrel is as centered as you can get it, like in the highlighted green image seen here. If it is, then you can now grab the spring cap, pull it down into the normal position and slowly release it. Your barrel should slide freely back and forth. Like before, lock the barrel in place by moving it down so you can put that breech plate back in and then center the barrel and slowly release it. As an alternative, you could use the breech plate to just push the barrel and spring and set the plate into position. This is much easier if the barrel is moving freely. If it is not moving, it's not going to go anywhere. Everything should be nice and snug, so grab the slide and seat it back onto the frame. Make sure everything lines up and slide it back until it naturally stops, which isn't very far. When it stops, rock the frame left and right while moving the slide back onto the frame, and it should glide back on. It will feel like a hard stop initially, but applying pressure and moving the frame left and right at the same time allows you to pass that hard stop, and then it'll slide on with ease. With the slide back on, grab the slide as you did before and pull the slide back to the disassembly notch and place that slide lock back into its snap position. Release the slide, cycle it to test, and you survive the R51 field strip. Go take a nap.